I still haven't been able to try that stuff yet. One day.
God bless you, Kanyeezy. Thank you for coming through. Hello, Jose. Hello, Toxic.
We're not drinking every dollar. You can't even drink liquor. You don't die. So.
Well, I got paid from YouTube a few days late, and then so that's the money we're using.
Yeah. We're still trying to get our instruments. My friend's not hitting me back up.
Well, didn't he just hit you back up today?
Finally.
Yeah.
I just hope it's not a total loss. If so, I'm buying a new one, but I'm going to try not to do that. Once again.
What up, Mr. Jig? We failed.
Epilepsy will be cured. A lot of it has to do with malnutrition. That's what I've learned over my research. I haven't heard of it. I can't drink a lot.
All of it, of course, but just a little bit of it to get
about $30 to get us alcohol.
Hey, God bless you, Mr. J. That makes me feel better. At least I'm not the only one to fail.
Yeah. The nice thing about Austin is he won't put on a show, literally and technically. He'll tell you how it is. Life's hard.
Yeah, even though,
Thank you.
Even though we do mess up, we're not perfect.
I'm an Austin fan too.
We gotta show our real selves and be honest with our viewers,
Shit happens.
Yeah, stuff happens. Thank you, Katsuki. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, somebody named Zachary sent me $10 earlier and said, "Hey, brother, no, you not live. Thought you guys could use it. Thank you, Zach. That was 3 hours ago.
We're still trying to make our goals happen. It's just there's been a lot of fucking pressure moving across the country, trying to just stay straight and keep our heads up. It's one step at a time. It's one step at a fucking time.
Set up TTS, don't. Yeah, I don't know how to do that anyways, but I'll try to research it.
I'll let him research it because I'm technologically challenged.
Yeah, I'll try to at least research it after we live stream tonight.
Definitely ate today. I had a fat ass hamburger, which was necessary for my soul. So thank you. These things happen.
32 severe alcoholic. Well, God bless you, Cody. The thing is, people shouldn't judge people for where they're at.
Somebody once told me we all medicate ourselves in some way, and we can't say how that is for anybody. Each their own.
Well, for me, I think drinking is bad, and I think everybody should try.
I'm definitely not going to liquor because, for me personally, it's probably totally fine.
Well, if anybody wants to donate anything to make, please just make us feel better. For me, it's like I feel like none of my viewers are gonna respect me. But at the same time, I'm always honest on here. If I'm drinking, I'm gonna be honest. If I'm trying,
comes out here being honest.
And if I'm trying to quit, that's honestly me trying to quit. but I failed this time.
I can't do twisted teas because the caffeine and the alcohol for me,
Just
the
listen,
number
because
and down
alcohol
it.
loosens the inhibitions.
I
They're
can't do
gonna
it at the
fuck
same
up and
time.
say stuff.
And I can't do liquor.
That is a very rude question, Tiger Man, and definitely not true.
What is it?
He said the only way she will get physical with you is by drinking.
Well, that is personal.
Yeah, but no, that's
I know.
we love each other and are very affectionate to one each other, whether we drink or not.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a very rude question to ask. Thank you so much, though. I'm sorry, I was Ricardo. Thank you so much, Ricardo, for the $1 super chat. It's one Australian dollar, which
You
is
know what? It's still a dollar.
no 68 cents.
Still a fucking dollar.
Yeah, I guess so. Thank you, my friend.
It's the thought that counts.
We stay away from liquor, though.
I smoke tobacco. I always have. Probably always will, except for when I don't. I've never said that I don't, because that's part of my fucking native heritage. I'm not gonna do an OnlyFans either, but have you guys seen OnlyFans? That's some good shit. I would smoke cannabis, but I get paranoid as shit when I do it. Due to the laws that were around when I started smoking cannabis, I had friends go to prison and get expelled, so I don't touch it personally, but it is really nice to hang out with someone who's had fun on cannabis.
I'm not really high as fuck.
I'm not saying he is, I'm just saying in general.
I don't really get high. If I smoke, it's for a medicine.
Yeah, I DMT myself to the universe in my dreams. Later. Oh,
I don't know.
well, I've had a beer and a half. You look like a statue, according to your pictures. It's not looking it's November.
God bless you, Horn. I'm very proud of you, man. I'm not proud of myself. Thank you, peace, love, and happiness. Thank you, Logan. God bless you. No, I'm not Elizabeth. You know, I try my best, but, you know, her family told me themselves, you know, her father told me you shouldn't quit everything at once. You just met each other.
Just moved across the country.
Yeah, you need to have
Chill
some
the
time.
fuck out.
Have some time to settle in. You know, not try to change each other. Just try to get to know each other first.
Every body is different.
God bless you, Boxcar Willie. I feel the same way, and I thought I could be strong enough to quit. You know, I thought I could be strong enough to quit and get through the initial, you know, the initial few days, but we were arguing so much. You know, my father's asking what's going on, and then our father and brother told me, you know, smoke some weed, don't quit, because, you know, you don't need to do everything at once, you know.
We're already trying the best we can.
You just got here, you be comfortable, except for their sake, you know, and, you Yeah, I could have ignored that and kept trying to be strong, but
Not having a problem looking at the screen, is she? Sucking that cigarette, drunk, with epilepsy. Sure. Get the fuck out of here.
But we're still budgeting, just like we can do with the job. We won't care. Thank you. Baby steps indeed.
thank you, AA.
Baby steps indeed.
I feel like everybody who doesn't smoke or drink, they're just like, oh, just get over it. But everybody who does can kind of understand. It's hard. Thank you, Michael. And if anybody wants to send $1, you said send money so we can buy more booze. No, I just got paid from YouTube a few days ago. If I need more booze, I can buy it on my own. But we're trying to save up for a car because we bought dog food. We spent like $60, $70 on dog food and 2 of these.
And my family's feeding it to the cats. Because they need cat food now too. Sorry. Bless their hearts. There's a lot of fucking hungry mouths to feed at the end of the fucking day.
We actually had to get new phones too because my other phone is pretty bad. It got pretty bad, and she didn't have a phone.
I could answer calls on text now, but I could not. Everyone could hear. Well, I could hear what they were saying. They could not hear me or shit.
Yeah, so we both got new phones.
That's what comes to it. We'll pass it on. It doesn't even know we're done.
Hey, if anybody wants to send us gift cards on Cash App,
Gift cards are fine too.
Yeah. Because this guy says an addiction is hard, but you're asking for money which can be spent on what you like, which may not be for good things. Like I said, we got paid from YouTube a few days ago, my monthly YouTube check. If we need to buy more alcohol, we can do it with our own money.
Did you guys know why I'm smoking? It's called the herb of this continent, and I'm Native American, and enough has been taken from us. Just to be straight up.
Enough has been taken from them. Thank you so much, Jordan.
Thank you.
It was Mr. Jig. He said, Mr. Jig, my favorite creators on any app. Love you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you so much, man. We gotta keep it real. Because you know what? Our struggle may help somebody else who's going through something similar. We could come up here and act like everything's great. They can act like we're doing everything right, perfect people, but we're not.
We're just trying.
We're just trying our best to be good people. And
I'm talking to you because I can finally fucking talk. Not because of him, but because I literally, if you really want to know, should I tell him?
Well, I think there might be other ways that she can express herself more, but
No, because I had even before I speak. And there's only certain things that I can speak without thinking about the pain.
By her adopted parents.
Which is nobody's fault because they were fucking in their own worlds too. But that's just how it is.
That's the sound of the first Cash App donation. And the thing is, when she drinks, It's easy.
That voice gets out of my head. That beating gets out of my head. That PTSD gets out of my head so I can talk for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I know it's not a choice or whatever, but just for tonight, I'm talking.
My Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo are in the poll in my chat. Also in the description of this video and in the about section of the channel. The quality is awesome on this. Awesome. I'm glad the new phone helped. So it's better than it used to be, huh? That's good. We got a better service too. Thank you so much, AA. AA sent $1 on Cash App and said a little something. Thank you so much, AA. God bless you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. We're not broke right now. We are still struggling. We're trying our best to save up for a car. You said, yep, drinking. A week ago you said you were saving for a car, but now you're saying you've been out and bought phones. Yes, that is exactly what we are saying.
How the fuck is he supposed to live stream without a good phone when his phone's falling apart?
Yeah, my old phone right here.
Shit fucking happens.
Whoa.
You can literally see the screen is coming off of it.
I'll show you.
But I'm not gonna show him right now. So.
He doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I don't feel like
It's his own fucking choice.
Because even if I do this, it's not that bad.
Well, you can
still use that phone. And
well, they sit there with their don't get this story.
And so I don't really care. You know, we got new phones with the money that we earned from YouTube. From my YouTube check I just got, we got dog food for the dogs.
Doing the best we fucking can.
And we appreciate if anyone can spare any money to help. We're still trying to save up for a car.
Yeah, fucking wrong.
AA said love her. She tells it like it is. You go, girl. So we are still trying to save up for a car. I just got paid. I get paid once a month from YouTube.
We didn't spend it all on fucking Apple.
And we didn't spend it all. We
got $20 worth of drinks tonight.
Well, more like 30, like you said.
$30 worth of drinks tonight. I don't know. I don't get your receipts.
But, still, we decided that we were allowed to spend a little bit of our money to have a good time. And yes, I started smoking tobacco.
I've been smoking tobacco. It's the herb of this fucking continent. I'm not about to quit, and it's still funny that everybody tries to make that a law when it's the herb of this continent. And if they fucking talk to Great Spirit themselves, they'd understand. But you know what? We've been told what to do for way too long. So I'm gonna fucking smoke my fucking tobacco, and I'm gonna enjoy the fucking hell out of it.
Well,
sorry.
It's okay. I just don't want them to get upset. Okay, it's fine. I don't care about I yell at them when I'm in the woods, but not in here because I don't want.
Sorry, I'm passionate about it. Yeah. Don't come to America and say stop smoking. Suck my dick.
Whoa.
That's it. That's the end of my head. I'm sorry.
Got yourself
God
a winner,
bless
Austin.
everybody. God bless.
A real
yeah,
winner.
she is very passionate
a flying
about
stinky
tobacco.
fish.
God bless. God bless.
That's what happens when I get told to stop. To each their fucking own. To each their own. That's what freedom's based on, is to each their own.
Thank you so much. An anonymous donator just sent us $10.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the $10 donation. God bless you. We doth appreciate. You said I've been in the same. Oh, sorry. I've been in the same position. You know what I did? Stop drinking. That was the first thing. Went out and searched for a job. Found one now. I'm all good. That's great. What is that priority now to say? No, hey, what are you doing? Come here. I didn't know what he said. I started reading it before I knew he was saying something. So
this is in my fucking room. I'll get the fuck out.
What are you talking about? It is your own. Do you want to stop this? Because I know.
No, what I'm saying is they don't like what I have to say. They never get the fuck out.
Okay, yeah, that's how you should be. Don't make them make you get out.
Alright.
This
Why am I so mad? Why don't you look at history of fucking Turtle Island and get back to me?
This is going to end badly.
Never reach it.
Share somebody out there.
God bless you guys so much once again. Another Cash App donation. Thank you so much. Somebody named Moises sent $1 on Cash App. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the $1.
Somebody named Moises, that's the same person that's been sending you money for 2 weeks, you dipshit.
He said if she has epilepsy seizure, she shouldn't be drinking. Technically, none of us should be drinking. So what right do you have to tell her? You know?
None of us should be experimenting with the doctors either. To reach their fucking goal.
2 each, their own. So that means everybody gets 2 apiece. No more, no less. Alright? Thank you so much, James, for the $2 super chat donation. God bless you. Thank you so much. Wanted to get the camera quality. It's nice. It's called the Moto G 5G.
It's a tiny network.
Oh, does anyone in here like playing video games?
Oh, shit.
Does anyone in here like playing video games?
You'll never grow up. You're Peter Pan.
Does anybody in here play emulators? Does anyone on here play like the PlayStation 2 emulator, PSP emulator? Okay, we got 2 people. Okay. Thank you so much, Sierra.
Well, I always sought out a place to play. I realized that everyone was once or two in my homeland and told me to change. And thank you. Thank you for the donations.
Thank you so much. Someone named Sierra sent $1 on Cash App, and Moises sent another $1 on Cash App, and then somebody else named Matt sent $1. Thank you so much, Matt. God bless you. So the thing is, this phone, the Moto G 5G, it comes with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and you can convert 4 gigabytes of the storage into RAM. It's called CRAM. So the thing is, technically they say I have 8 gigabytes of RAM because I converted it's called the RAM Boost. You know, if you got the Moto G 5G, and it's like one of the cheapest phones on the market.
And Cody, we're not justifying anything. We're just doing it. Asking.
Okay, big JMW. I'm gonna politely just stop you from talking on it. People are being so rude to my girlfriend.
Oh, I'm being a bitch too. So.
No, you're not. This is our live stream. We're allowed to,
Whatever the fuck you want.
yeah.
It was our land. Sorry.
So basically, my new phone can run a PlayStation 2 emulator. You can download it. You have to look it up if you don't want the one with ads, because it's not on the Google Play Store anymore.
Don't have ads.
Why are you mocking me? That's not nice.
Back you up.
Okay, it sounded like you were mocking me.
Back you up.
Okay.
Where's the music?
Basically, it's called Aethers X2 or something. You can find it on Google. Just search for a PS2 emulator for Android. And you can download the ROMs, download extractor on a zip extractor on your phone, and then I can play a PS2 games on my phone. And I got this thing with some of my YouTube money too.
Yeah, you fucking did.
This thing right here is, I'll show you what it is. Okay.
Good times.
This is a, hold on. This, you plug this into your phone and you can use all these buttons on the controller.
Best. Yeah. Good times.
Good sounds. So, this is my old phone. It's got tape on it. It's all messed up, but I'll show you basically how it works. A lot of people have seen it out already. So right now, I got the PSP emulator. Are you coming back?
Yeah.
And you plug your phone into it. That's my old phone. And this thing connects with the emulator. And this is a PSP game. See, you have the touchscreen controls. I just touched the screen. That's why I did that. You have the touchscreen controls, but this one, when you plug this thing in, you can use these instead of the touchscreen. It's a lot easier to play. Okay, yeah, it's gonna take a while. Okay. And you can set it to take the touchscreen controls off. I just haven't, just so it doesn't show them at all, even if you touch it. I just haven't done it. This is Assassin's Creed Bloodlines, the Assassin's Creed that came out for PSP. Press start on there. I'll push continue. Okay, I'm just gonna show them how it is real quick. So look. It's just like Assassin's Creed, but I mean the map areas are smaller, but you still can climb up the walls and stuff.
Hell yeah, you can.
So yeah, that's Assassin's Creed on the PSP. The PSP. Well, her friend finally hit her back today about the instruments.
Yeah, it's about fucking time. We still have that money in reserve. He just has to be post office and whatnot.
I never knew about that, Vince. It's really neat. Yeah, maybe I should make a video teaching people. Well, I don't think I can teach you all of it because you're not supposed to, but technically, goes over your phone and it connects to it, and so you can play games that use controllers without having to use a touchscreen. You can use the buttons and stuff. You said I have, but it's very old. Okay, Batman has. Okay, Batman. What games have you played? Which one? Oh no, Jonathan said he has. Okay, Jonathan. Which one have you played? The PSP, PS Vita, or PlayStation 2? No, we paid the rent for next month. No, it isn't YM. It's something I bought with money I got from my YouTube check. PlayStation Portable, okay. Say download Call of Duty. I was thinking about that just for the graphics, because I only play Call of Duty rarely, like only every once in a while, because it's not my type of game. I like adventure story games, but sometimes it's fun just to get into it, especially now that I got a controller. So you played if anybody else has played the PlayStation Portable, the PlayStation 2, or PlayStation Vita ever, please let me know. Or especially if you played emulators. Okay, so what's your favorite games on the PlayStation Portable, Jonathan? Okay, we got people like, yo, Call of Duty. Yeah, I might have to download. Let's check it out with this controller, because this controller is gonna be a lot. Because I could never play Call of Duty Mobile on the phone with the touch screen. Like I see people do it and they make it work. But it's too hard for me with the controller, because I'm already not that great at Call of Duty. But with the controller, the joysticks, the trigger buttons, wrestling games, okay. Do you remember a wrestling game for PSP that you recommend? You love Sims on PSP, okay. I'm gonna download that one then, because my girlfriend has, and she had it like a year ago or something. She said it's been a few months since she had it, but she made a whole village. Like, I swear there's like 20 houses in there, 20 different families and people. She built all the houses, all the people. It's like a big ass town that she built on there. And whenever I got her a new phone, I just got her a new phone, both of us a new phone. She got her old save file back. So she got her whole town back. And she's happy to have that on her phone. But I'm going to download Sims 2 for the PSP on my phone too, just so she can see how it is and I can check it out too. SmackDown versus Raw. Okay, I'm going to download that for PSP. I'm going to get that one for PSP. Because basically, you can get any game for PSP, PlayStation 2, or PS Vita. Well, PS Vita, some of them don't run good. I've been trying to make Attack on Titan run. It'll run, but it buffers, it lags a lot. When I'm playing the game and I looked at it, it didn't even run good on the system itself, on the PS Vita, on the native hardware when it came out. Tell her I keep watching the Be Yourself video. Are you talking about open yourself to the music? Open yourself to the music and become the music. Open yourself to the dance and become the dance. You can be you, can be you, can be you, can be you, can be whatever you like. Yeah, I actually wrote a verse for that song, and we were gonna record it together before we left California, but it was hard. I was under a lot of pressure, and so we just gave up on that for that day because I was getting stressed out. I was worried it wasn't gonna sound good. But we will do it eventually. Hello, Derek. God bless you. Haven't played since back in the day when it first came out. Facts. Does anybody else have any other PSP games they recommend? Or PlayStation 2? Any PlayStation 2 game. You can literally play almost any PlayStation 2 game on the phone now. It's I never thought when I was a kid I would have a PlayStation 2 in the palm of my hands. I always thought it'd be nice when I'm an adult to buy my own PSP and have all the PSP games. Now I can get them all right on my phone. And a mini PlayStation 2 in the palm of my hands. The Warriors on PS2, okay. MX versus ATV. Okay, is that like a racing game? Because I do like racing games. I downloaded one racing game for the Vita. It was alright, but I think I should get one for PlayStation or PlayStation 2 because it'll run better. The Vita games don't run as good. The PSP and PlayStation 2 games weren't great. Even the PS2 games weren't great. The Vita, Attack on Titans, really. Some of the Vita games weren't good, but I've definitely got to download. I better write these down because these are some games I'm gonna get on my phone. And if you guys want me to, I'll try to. So we had PSP games. We had SmackDown versus Raw, Sims, then the Warriors, and then Mortal Kombat. They had one Mortal Kombat. I think it was on PS2. I'm not sure though. But it was a Mortal Kombat where it had a story mode where you fought like mini enemies, and then when you reached the boss, then it was like a regular fight. He said try to stream the gameplay if possible. I want to stream my gameplay. I'm thinking maybe I should just make a new channel to stream my gameplay because when I stream on here, my viewers go down and down. Hello VR, how you doing? God bless you. Yeah, because then maybe the algorithm will make that more viewers who like video games to go to that channel. Because I think it messes up my algorithm because people come here because they like the live stream and the face-to-face conversation. But if it's a channel that's about gaming, hey, thank you. Hey, okay, I'm gonna make a new channel and I'll try to stream my gameplay. Hopefully it works out good. So we'll definitely throw you in the algorithm. Facts. Yeah, because it's a completely different type of content. My views usually go way down. So here's what I'm gonna do for you guys. I'm gonna play some of the games I want to, of course, but over time I'll get through all these games on the list. So any more PSP, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 2, or PlayStation Vita games that you guys want me to play, let me know. Let us know when you do it. Okay, I will. I might be able to make it on my other phone that works on the Wi-Fi. Okay, let's see. I can make the channel at least so you guys can subscribe to it. Oh no. Oh wow. Somebody commented on my live stream about the crystal, on my video about the crystal with me and my girlfriend, said ask it for money. And I just didn't reply to there's being an asshole. And then somebody else commented, said, wow, be nice. It's not like you don't ask for money on your channel. I'm done giving you money. I'll give it to Austin. And I appreciate that. You know, I definitely would never judge anybody else for asking for money online because I do it myself. You know, and I even made a hashtag on TikTok, Eat Beggars Unite. You know. And it's just I don't knock any creator for doing what they got to do, you know. Deer hunting games. Okay, hold on. Do you know any specific one, or should I just write deer hunting? I can probably find it if I just search it on Google. I don't have a laptop. I can't afford one right now, but maybe one day, because we're gonna need that for Cabela's big game ones. All right.
Better go check her in that kitchen.
Hey, thank you, Imani. God bless you. You know, the thing is, it's not for us to sit here and judge one another or hate one another. We know that if we realize it's the system of capitalism, you know, we shouldn't be blaming each other, right? That's what the ruling class wants. They want the poor people to fight each other instead of fighting them. They want us to be mad at each other and blame each other instead of blaming them, the ones who are actually controlling all the resources and selling them back to us, basically making us their slaves. GTA games on PS2. Now that's one. Oh man, I didn't even download Scarface. Yeah, I think I should play the Scarface. Thank you, Imani. No, I'm not downloading I will download Call of Duty. I can't download yet because I'm live streaming. Okay, so let's see. We got GTA. I gotta put Scarface in here. Oh, this is for PS2. I gotta put the PS2 category. GTA, Scarface, Vice City. Yeah, well, they had GTA 3, GTA San Andreas, and GTA Vice City on the PS2. Tony Hawk PS2. Vice City. I know that's a GTA game, but I'm just gonna write it down too. Monster Jam. Is that on PSP or PS2? Tony Hawk 2. Okay, on PS2. Okay, Tony Hawk 2. You said, isn't that better than this? Well, I don't know exactly. Honestly, the Steam Deck is alright, and you can do it, but it's a lot harder to live stream from it because it's Linux. It's not very user friendly. And when I tried to live stream it from it before, it wasn't that great. But I think my phone will be a lot better. And this is relatively cheap device, especially if you get it used. And you just plug into your phone, just a controller for your phone. Liberty Stories. That's for PS2, right? Okay, hold on. Monster Jam PS2. Okay, 1 second. Okay, we got a good list now. But more, please give me more. Give me all the games. Hey, thank you, King Penguin. God bless you, man. You know, and that's the thing. A lot of people just, they're just, you don't want to judge people for where they're at. So I even have, we all should, and I know some of you do, even have compassion for them. It's like it's not their fault that they just can't see things like that. We just gotta try to keep trying to help them understand that we're not their enemy. Other poor people are not your enemy. All right, we have to realize that if we're ever gonna actually make a change in this world, the poor people, the working class, even the beggars, even the homeless people. I was homeless a lot of my adult life. I'm blessed to not be homeless right now, but I'm still poor and struggling, like most people in this country and like most people in this world. Okay, so that's the thing. We wouldn't be struggling so much if we had a democratic right over the resources we all use. If the people actually could decide what all of our collective labor is going towards, what all our resources are going towards, if we could democratically decide that, then there would be a lot less suffering in this world. The capitalist model, capitalist system rewards the most greedy and selfish people. It's a system designed to reward that part of us, and that's not all who we are. There's plenty of examples of compassion, of humans having compassion for one another in history and in everyday life. And the systems we are in, the rewards system of the system we're in makes us respond to it in certain ways to our environment. If a rat's environment rewards him to figure out the maze and get through it to get the cheese, right? A human's environment that rewards them for being selfish and withholding these resources from everybody else because they have the ability to, so they can make more profit of them, and that system rewards them. That's going to be their instinct, and there's a lot more to it. But if we had democracy, we could collectively, democratically have a say in all these things that affect us, then people would be a lot happier, and they would be different people. So I don't blame someone for being so caught up in capitalist brainwashing that they're over here calling me a beggar. What's wrong with society? I have compassion for them, and I'm going to keep on trying to explain it to them. Now, I might get mad, and curse them out sometimes when I just can't take it anymore. But I still hope that that they will see the light, so to speak. Do you want action, adventure, or role playing? Both. Those are two of my favorite genres, actually. Have I played Rift? No, I haven't played Rift. And he's Twisted Metal. Is that on PlayStation 2? I'll write it down. Twisted Metal. This game called The Clown Mask. They do bank house. I'm drawing blank. It drives me nuts till I figure it out. Okay, guys, what's the game with the clown mask? They do bank heist. Wild Rift. What system is that on? Tomb Raider.
I love Tomb Raider.
Okay, we definitely gotta get that then.
Hell fucking yeah. As I become I know.
Yeah. I haven't been live on TikTok in a while. I'm trying to get more followers to go live on there again. But yeah, if you send gifts on TikTok, people get money. You can also send money on YouTube. It'll just be next month that I get it. If you want to help me out, I do have Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo in the poll in my chat, the description of this video, and the About section of my channel. Is rice carbs?
It depends on the rice, but
Cause she's saying rice is cheap, eat a lot, but more
brown
importantly,
rice, brown rice.
She said
You,
rice water
I'm
in
also
your
going off the
garden.
alkaline diets. Don't tell me. I won't tell you. Brown rice has alkalinity, which is an acceptable pH for the body, but it really depends on who you ask. But brown rice, technically carb, but if you eat it in moderation for the alkaline diet, but there's a lot of diets I've done. It all started with wanting to eat healthy. Holy shit.
Okay, so she said more importantly, rice water,
Saki?
rice water in your garden and your veggies will grow twice the size. She said
I'll believe it because black rice water makes your hair grow. In the Guinness Book of World Records, there were these ladies who used black rice water, fermented black rice water to keep growing their hair, and it just kept going on. But it used to be called forbidden rice because only royal people were able to eat it. But I'm sure rice is the shit. For sure.
She said sprinkle coffee grounds around your garden too. And use eggshells crushed in your garden.
I sprinkle coffee grounds around my roses because they like acidic soil. And I'll definitely use eggshells to the max, and I appreciate that. But the only thing I really know at the end of the day is that I don't know. And that's just for me to be sterile.
Okay, Imani, let me write all those down. Okay, we got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I did.
Hell yeah.
I have played that. I've never played it all the way through though, so I have to try to do that. San Andreas, and then let's see, Shadow of Colossus. Oh yeah, that's definitely a good one. I've never finished that one either. It got hard.
I make chicken.
And God of War.
God of War. God is love.
God of War. Devil May Cry 3. I played Devil May Cry 3 as a kid, but I'm trying to get through number 1 before I play 3, because I like to play them in order. You said look for more. Thank you. Hey, tell me your favorite RPG games.
Tell me your favorite
too,
RPG.
because I know you said that those ones too.
I love Epsom salt. In the garden, I haven't used it as much because I'm too selfish. I like to bathe in it. But I'm down to put it in the garden. Thank you.
You should try getting meat rabbits too. They multiply fast and it's really good eating.
Okay, I haven't tried rabbit yet, but I'm down.
Thank you, peace, love, and happiness. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You know what else is wild? Judgment. All I gotta say.
Yeah, I love Final Fantasy. You said my favorite is Final Fantasy 10. If you haven't tried it already, you should.
That sounds fun.
Okay. I definitely gotta try that now.
Hell yeah. I'm a classic. I just like Mario Kart. So I don't know shit about nothing.
Yeah, you know, I've beaten Final Fantasy 1, 2, and the 7 remake, the first one.
Check on the chip.
I was gonna play 3, but I've tried to play 3 several times. I think I might go back to it on Android. I might try to play the Pixel remaster on Android, because I played 1 and 2. And how did I play them? I think I played emulator. I played 1 and 2 on an emulator, and then they had the Pixel remasters, Yeah, oh yeah, I already got Kingdom Hearts downloaded. That was the first game that I actually played as a kid. Like me and my brother and my stepfather would all play it. You know, it was awesome. And I already got that one downloaded. That was and then that's what finally got me into Final Fantasy when I got older. Wait, is it Person 4 or Persona 4? Because I've heard of Persona 4. Yeah. I already got a runaway cop out of here. Persona 4. Yeah, I've definitely heard of that. So I'm gonna write it down. You know, I really want to play. What's it called? It's the Star Ocean again. I got a little ways through it when I was a kid, but then it got too hard for me and I gave up. But I really liked it. I played Till the End of Time. Star Ocean Till the End of Time for a little while. But yeah, number 1 and 2, and then I was gonna play 3, but then the 3D it kind of looks nice. Right? It looks nice, but maybe I should just play 3 with the pixel remaster just to get the more original experience. Phantasy Star Online, I'll write that one too. I got Crash Bandicoot already. Phantasy Star, I've heard of that one. And then Red Dead Redemption. Okay. Well, I'm drinking Chelada. Budweiser Chelada Clamato and Picante. Let's see. Yeah, so, because it kind of looks nice with the 3D remaster of Final Fantasy 3, but the character models in the Nintendo DS version with the character models, they look so bad. It's like all the bodies, whether they're male or female, have a triangle shape where they have like no shoulders and they just have a triangle body. God bless you, Batman. I love it personally, but everybody has their own. I have 2 racing games that I'm favorite, but only one was kind of hard to finish. Hey, Sauchka, I'm letting you. I was gonna wait till my girlfriend had got back to read that comment for both of us. I'm gonna go back to it 1 second. I wasn't trying to ignore you. I played a little bit of Gran Turismo 4 as a kid, and 3, and then Burnout 3 Takedown. Okay. Need for Speed. Oh yeah, I played that one too. Hot Pursuit. Okay. see if I can make a new channel from this phone. Hot Wheels stunt track challenge. Okay. Hot Wheels stunt track challenge. Yeah, I guess I'm not as strong as I would like to be, Clonal. God bless you. PS2 facts. Crew 2. Crew 2. Sniper Elite. For stealth, I have, okay. Metal Gear Solid 3. I gotta play all the Metal Gear Solids if I'm gonna play Metal Gear Solid. I've been waiting to play those. And Hitman Blood Money, okay. And then Sniper Elite. Okay. Got all these games. I'm gonna have to make a new page for PS2 now. Yeah, I played Hitman a little bit when I was a kid, but I never had it. I just played it at my friend's house. Payday. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Payday. It's my favorite stealth game. Facts. I definitely gotta play that. Where you going?
So,
Yeah, I've heard some good things about Payday. God bless. God bless everybody. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have people be nice, you know. Okay, guys, look. This is my gaming YouTube channel. Please go subscribe. If you search the @ search it all as one word like a username. Sorry. Search @ Austin Samargo Gaming. I might change it soon to I might change it to Gaming with Austin Samargo, so you get the idea of the channel first. Thank you. Austin Samargo Gaming. I'm gonna try to do some gaming live stream. Hey, maybe this is how I won't have to beg anymore. You know, maybe this is my big break here. You know. That's not a very nice job. That's not very nice at all. You kiss your mother with that mouth. I just think that expression is funny.
Your mother don't even want anything to do with you, piece of shit.
Don't tell me you'll kiss your mother with that mouth. Thank you, Batman. God bless you. You guys are who inspired it tonight. Hopefully that gaming channel will surpass this one. You probably did. Shame. What a shame. God bless his heart. God bless him. Hey, buddy, you kiss your mother with that mouth, huh?
Yeah, that worries me. Please be safe. Keep me posted. I haven't gotten that video yet. When I get it, I'll review it and send it to you. Keep yourself safe and let me know how you're doing. Stay alert.
Thank you, Batman. Are you afraid of coming to the work?
Oh, fuck you.
Are you afraid of coming? Do the words Marxism and socialism provoke an uneasy feeling in your gut? Does the number of 100 million deaths send shivers down your spine? Do you get flashbacks of Orwellian tyranny from socialist regimes as soon as you see this unholy face? Is 1984 your synonym for socialist societies? If the answer to any of those questions is a yes, you've come to the right place. Consider this video and the upcoming video series as an opportunity to hear the antithesis to all of those mental images that reside in your subconscious of alleged socialist malevolence and destructiveness in the spheres of philosophy, ideology. Communism is utopian. Communism is against human nature. Marxism destroys culture and religion. Marxism is outdated and irrelevant. Socialism never worked. Others. So try to keep an open mind and put aside your existing biases. Having all that said,
We have an ungodly amount of material to uncover. So, first of all, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And maybe even consider supporting me on Patreon in case you really appreciate the work, since every penny really means a lot. Now, buckle up and let's go. Here's an honest question. How much do you actually know about Marxism and its theoretical conclusions? And no, I'm not talking about the slander and shameless strawman that you'll hear from conservatives, such as Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, and Steven Crowder, whose shameless misrepresentations of Marxism I myself used to gobble up for breakfast. Or even revisionist leftists such as the streamer Vosh and other social democrats with absurd hallucinations about cultural Marxism and the Red Terror. No, I'm asking you to honestly contemplate your actual state of knowledge about the works of Marx, Engels, and Lenin. And why am I doing this? Because I personally used to believe I could destroy every leftist with my ingenious intellectual facts and logic by merely saying, oh, but you surely didn't think about human nature. That's all nice on paper, but it never worked in practice. And honestly, made myself look silly, to say the least. I thought I knew everything, that Marxists are just jealous, envious snowflakes, led by emotions and laziness. And honestly, I'm glad I did. Now I know exactly how and why you may think that way, and will gladly use this experience to help you expel the leftovers of McCarthyism and the Red Scare from your system. Because, let's be honest, you deserve better. Therefore, I'd like you to at least temporarily try and put your existing notions and opinions about Marxism, socialism, and communism you might have in your head on hold, and give me a chance to present you what Marxism really is, what it entails, and what its conclusions are. Now, it's important to keep in mind that Marxism has no definitive, static definition that exists as an abstract, ideal concept in the heads of humans that can be imposed upon reality. To the contrary, it's a living, breathing thing that is constantly revised, reinterpreted, and expanded upon. This fact alone embodies one of the most important principles of Marxist thought, but we'll get to that in a bit. Marxism itself encompasses the theoretical frameworks developed by 19th century German philosophers Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, was expanded upon in the wake of the Russian Revolution by Vladimir Lenin, and further supplemented in the wake of the Chinese Revolution by Mao Zedong. These expansions upon Marxist doctrine gave rise to several slightly different schools of thought, such as Marxist-Leninism and Marxist-Leninism-Maoism, as well as others that differently emphasize the contributions of their respective figures.
Immigrants are good for the economy and our society. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. For centuries, immigration has been America's secret sauce for economic growth and prosperity. But for just as long, immigrants have been an easy scapegoat. One of the oldest, ugliest lies is to falsely smear immigrants as criminals. We have a new category of crime. It's called migrant crime. It's just not true. Crime is way down in America. Anyone who says otherwise is fear-mongering. And whatever crime there is not being driven by immigration. Immigrants, regardless of citizenship status, are 60% less likely to be incarcerated for committing crimes than U.S.-born citizens. Maybe that's why border cities are among America's safest. Immigration opponents also claim immigrants are a drag on the economy and a drain on government resources. They want the free stuff and they're coming here to get it. That's not right. Rubbish. Quite the opposite.
In this particular video essay, we'll that constitutes the core of Marxist thought is the method of analysis used to observe the world. This method is called dialectical materialism. In essence, dialectical materialism is the scientific method, the same one used by physicists, biologists, neuroscientists, and others to observe the material world and nature, but in this case, to observe human society and history. So, Contrary to popular belief, Marxism couldn't be more pragmatic, unless you want to call the natural sciences dogmatic too, for their rigorous framework of thought or something. Now, let's look at the two elements which shape the nature of the methodology in question. Dialectics is the method of observing the world as intricately interconnected and interdependent, in constant motion and change, propelled forward by the resolving contradictions which result in qualitative and quantitative changes in the development of nature and human society. Initially, it was developed as a method of philosophical argument dating all the way back to Plato, saw it speak with 19th century German philosopher Hegel, and was further expanded and supplemented with the principles of materialism through the contributions of Karl Marx. So, essentially, dialectics emphasized the crucial role of development and constant change in social transformation, which explains the importance of context when talking about historical events. Furthermore, materialism is the notion that the material world, perceptible to the senses, exists in an objective reality, independent from thought, mind, and spirit. It rejects the use of metaphysical concepts such as human nature, the soul, and God when it comes to the observation of history and social relations. Essentially, it's a purely scientific, empirical approach towards understanding the development of nature and society. It stands in opposition to idealism, which is the cornerstone of liberal philosophical thought, and perceives societal development as the consequence of eternal, static ideas and thought, whose implementation by great minds and individuals shapes the material world. Materialism therefore relies on empirical analysis of the material conditions of the past and the present, in order to arrive at a conclusion about the next steps in societal development. The embodiment of these combined principles is scientific socialism, developed by Marx and Engels from the observation of human societies with this methodology. See? Not that scary. Now, the application of dialectical materialism to history is called historical materialism. Its conclusions are derived from the observation of the development of human societies throughout history, from an initial stage of primitive communism through slave society, feudalism, and currently capitalism. The basis of these changes in social relations and political organization is considered to be a consequence of the changes in the modes and relations of production, or, in other words, who owns the means of production, also known as factories, machinery, and raw materials. This economic basis then further dictates the hierarchical organization of society, which manifests itself.
This motherfucker is screaming on his channel, and she's screaming on her channel now.
And the societal superstructure, which includes the family, the law, media, religion, art, education.
Well, this sucks.
Economic basis then further dictates the hierarchical organization of society, which manifests itself in the societal superstructure, which includes the family, the law, media, religion, art, education, politics, etc. The workings of the superstructure then reciprocally help to shape and maintain the economic base and prevailing relations of production. In very simple terms, those who own the means of production, currently the capitalists, the bourgeoisie, stand on top of the social hierarchy and strengthen their privileged position of power by directly and indirectly exerting influence through the state apparatus. According to historical materialism, initially there were no class divisions, as humans organized through tribes and clans in a form of primitive communism. Then, with the rise of commodity production, an abundance of resources which now went beyond the minimum requirements to maintain life, started the accumulation of capital and recreational exchange of commodities by certain individuals, who were, in all cases, men. Why men? Because the traditional division of labor between man and woman, which was completely fair in tribal organization, confined the woman to the household and allowed the man, who owned the tools and resources of his labor, to infinitely accumulate capital, consequently leading to a hierarchical accumulation of wealth by a small number of very capable and cunning men. This process gave the rise to the patriarchy and the oppression of women. As Engels explains, the first class antagonism appearing in history coincides with the development of the antagonisms between man and wife in monogamy, and the first class suppression with that of the female by the male sex. This consequently led to the division of society into classes, and the rise of the state as the instrument of maintaining class hegemony. From that moment onward, class society has undergone several qualitative changes, with class structure.
Fucking up, Austin.
Again with this. Sorry, guys.
Instrument of maintaining class hegemony. From that moment on,
The state is an instrument for the ruling class to maintain their hegemony.
Coincides with the development of the antagonisms between man and wife in monogamy, and the first class suppression with that of the female by the male sex. This consequently led to the division of society into classes, and the rise of the state as the instrument of maintaining class hegemony. From that moment onward, class society has undergone several qualitative changes, with class struggle and reconciliation of class antagonisms as the main driving force that propels society forward.
Hold on, guys. I think I can make it go better right now.
The most recent of these developments was the transition from feudalism to capitalism, where the bourgeois class. From that moment onward, class society has undergone several qualitative changes, with class struggle and reconciliation of class antagonisms as the main driving force that propels society forward. The most recent of these developments thus gave the rise to the patriarchy and the oppression of women. As Engels explains, the first class antagonism appearing in history coincides with the development of the antagonisms between man and wife in monogamy, and the first-class suppression with that of the female by the male sex. This consequently led to the division of society into classes, and the rise of the state as the instrument of maintaining class hegemony. From that moment onward, class society has undergone several qualitative changes, with class struggle and reconciliation of class antagonisms as the main driving force that propels society forward. The most recent of these developments was the transition from feudalism to capitalism, where the bourgeois class was victorious against the prevailing aristocracy through a series of revolutions, such as the famous French Revolution of 1789. All of these developments are described in incredible detail in the book The Origin of the Family, Private Property, and the State by Friedrich Engels, which I definitely recommend reading. It ties together every aspect of social development and sums up Marxist analysis of history beautifully. I'll make a detailed video essay analyzing this work in the future, but in the meantime, we'll have to settle with this rather simplistic explanation. So, with all that out of the way, we come to the role of scientific socialism and how its conclusions give rise to the concept of communism. First and foremost, we ought to differentiate between the utopian notions of socialism of idealist thinkers such as Saint-Simon, Fourier, and Owen from the scientific socialism developed by Marx and Engels. The development from utopian to scientific socialism was formulated by Engels in his work Socialism, Utopian and Scientific, which is a small extract of only a few pages.
So before Marx and Engels, people said we were communists and socialists, and a lot of them had these ideas of going out and creating their own commune, where they all just lived equally and fairly. And the difference in that is idealism is trying to impose an idea on something, an abstract idea, and force it on to all these people instead of looking at where people are actually at and where what we can actually do for the majority of people, because they never lasted and they always failed because they didn't extend to the broader society. And that's what scientific socialism is. A big part of it is recognizing the working class is the most revolutionary class, and the people who work every day for a living, these people, if they all come together, can exercise their power, over society, and they can actually, create a new system. They can they have the power. They are the people,
So reading it wouldn't hurt. Nonetheless, the crucial difference, which puts to bed all arguments about the supposed utopian naivety of Marxism, is the methodology used to determine and justify the existence of the socialist movement. Liberal, idealist, utopian socialism was developed as an isolated idea, an abstract concept whose existence is not justified in material reality. Its implementation would rely on a dogmatic imposition from above. It's therefore devoid of any material substance and reality, and relies on abstract ethical notions. On the other hand, scientific socialism is derived from historical materialism, and is therefore a material phenomenon in objective reality. Socialism as a movement is an embodiment of the class struggle, its continuation and objective manifestation in the form of social revolutions, with the goal of resolving class antagonisms and liberating the oppressed classes. Engels sums up this difference in Anti-During with a quote: "Everything must justify its existence before the judgment of reason, or give up its existence." Scientific socialism does this perfectly well.
If you want to stop the hunger in the world, stop scrolling. Right now in North Gaza, children are going to bed.
So, according to Marx and Engels, the liberation of the proletariat is only possible by the seizure of the means of production by the working class, and its conversion into collective property, since, as you may recall, the economic base is the decisive factor in the way social relations and hierarchies manifest themselves. By seizing control over the economic base, the proletariat paves its path towards its own liberation and the building of socialism.
What the hell happened? I swear, this every time I walk away, it messes up again.
Scientific socialism does this perfectly well. So, according to Marx and Engels, the liberation of the proletariat is only possible by the seizure of the means of production by the working class and its conversion into collective property, since, as you may recall, the economic base is the decisive factor in the way social relations and hierarchies manifest themselves. By seizing control over the economic base, the proletariat paves its path towards its own liberation and the building of socialism. With the proletariat's seizure of state power, the function is temporarily reversed, and the state apparatus is then used to bring the class struggle to its endgame, where the working class suppresses the influence and attempts of subversion of the bourgeoisie until its final dissolution. In the end, there is no more need for class divisions and oppression, rendering the existence of the state superfluous, since, as you may recall, its primary function is maintaining hegemony of one class over another. This is unnecessary in a classless society, which is the ultimate goal of Marxism. According to Engels, this superfluous existence of the state makes it slowly wither away. It is not abolished overnight, as anarchists may advocate, but is slowly losing its function. The proletariat state is therefore seen as the first, lowest stage of communism. So, with the building of socialism,
Because the purpose of the creation of the state in the first place is for one group of people to oppress the rest of the population or another class of people. You know, historically, we've went from the slave society to the feudal society to the capitalist society, where there's always a small group of people at top who run the society, and all the rest of us work for them. And whenever we take control of the state as the workers, and what the communists want to do is create a communist party that is tied to all of the unions, all of the workers' unions, and all of the people's organizations. That's the big part. It's not just unions, it's unions and people's organizations. Any group of oppressed people having an organization and being organized, and being represented in the government. And once we take over the government, we have to still use the state apparatus to stop any people from taking it back over, stop any capitalists from continuing to oppress the people and claim their rights to some resource or land that should be democratically run by the people. So eventually, after generations, there will be no purpose for a state, because people will grow up and live in a society where they have democratic participation in what resources we all use, and they are a part of that, and will be able to feel that and know that and be inspired by that, and there will no longer be wars over more resources, because it would be more countries will work together, and I couldn't explain it the best to you, but I'm trying to show you videos to help you.
the state withers away. So does the need for territorial divisions in the form of borders. So does money and other bourgeois instruments of control. With this gradual, potentially century-long process, society moves towards a higher stage of communism. As you may have noticed, it's really hard to stay within the scope of a specific topic in a video like this. This is precisely because Marxist analysis is connected on all levels, its conclusions nuanced and overdetermined, and its properties far from being reducible to a few sentences, contrary to what dishonest reactionary charlatans claim. Nonetheless, we'll leave this video here. To recap, we've looked at the basis of Marxist philosophical and scientific thought, dialectical materialism, and its application to the analysis of human societies throughout history, historical materialism. And finally, we've explored the origins and meaning of scientific socialism as the conclusion of the dialectical analysis of history and the contemporary form of this century-old class struggle, as well as its differentiation from idealist utopian socialism. See, it really isn't that scary. I sincerely hope you found these explanations useful and could at least...
So I showed my girlfriend that video the other day, and after I showed her another video, this one.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance and I saved hundreds. With all the money I saved, thought I'd buy stilts. Channel.
Is capitalism really human nature? I'm sure you guys have heard this one before. Is capitalism really human nature?
Understand people.
They're the worst. Oftentimes, when you talk about socialism with someone, you get to this point in the conversation. Socialism sounds good in theory, but it could never work in real life. People are too competitive, too greedy, too selfish, too cruel, too violent, too insert something bad. They're the worst. Or sometimes the conversation doesn't focus on how evil people are, but on how commerce-driven humans are. Socialism would never work because humans are economic animals with brains built for trade and maximizing our returns on investment. Much of the public debate about socialism doesn't really focus on the merits of socialism. Instead of debating whether it would be better if everyone was housed, fed, free from exploitation, and working shorter days, because it's immediately obvious that it would be, or how we might get there and the institutions that would coordinate these needs, the conversation gets cut short on the grounds that it's unrealistic. Despite socialists proving the possibility of these things empirically, through experimentation, logic, and historical or cross-cultural parallel, all these efforts are struck down by these really simple statements that just kind of sound true. Sure, capitalism sucks, but that's because humans suck, so why should we believe socialism could be any better? Grounds that it's unrealistic. Despite socialists proving the possibility of these things empirically, through experimentation, logic, and historical or cross-cultural parallel, all these efforts are struck down by these really simple statements that just kind of sound true. Sure, capitalism sucks, but that's because humans suck, so why should we believe socialism could be any better? Socialism is pie in the sky. It's hubris from young people who don't know how the world works yet. Just wait till you hit your 30s and you'll grow out of it. And I understand why this works. It's a convincing idea. Everyone has people in their life who are greedy, selfish jerks, and everyone can recognize the part of themselves that is a greedy, selfish jerk. It stands to reason that human nature has, at the very least, an element of selfishness and cruelty to it. But this has very little to do with socialism, and as a justification for capitalism, it's a very strange one. In this video, I'm not going to prove what human nature is or isn't. If you'd like to watch a video approaching this question from a biological perspective, go check out my buddy Ugotvic's video from a couple months ago, where he breaks down the nature versus nurture debate using twin studies and emerging science on epigenetics. Don't like that? Check out Andrewism's video about how different philosophical traditions have interpreted the human nature argument across time and space, and the kinds of society that flourished with different understandings of humanity. Two great videos, two very different approaches, two pretty similar conclusions. Human nature is not a very good argument. In this video, I'm going to take a third approach to this conclusion. We're going to be looking at how this idea of a singular, corrupt, logical, and self-interested human nature gains traction as a defense of capitalism, the inherent contradictions of this idea, and why it doesn't actually undermine socialist politics. And I know I'm fighting a stupid battle here. The human nature argument is one that takes like 3 seconds to make, and that anti-socialists never feel like they have to justify. Except maybe by pointing to someone doing something bad and calling it proof, or relying on the assumption that if a past socialist experiment failed, it was because of human nature. Debunking this is going to take me many minutes, because I'm not going to take those easy shortcuts, and maybe that makes what I'm doing even dumber. Anyway, the first thing to address with a lot of these human nature claims is how weirdly essentializing they are. For some reason, when human nature is invoked, it's always the part of human nature that sucks that we focus on, despite the fact that we have millions of examples of people being selfless. People regularly make massive personal sacrifices before their brain even has the time to compute what kind of selfish benefit they might gain from it. There are plenty of documented cases of people jumping into a river to save a drowning stranger at the drop of a hat.
Exactly.
And probably even more undocumented cases of the same thing. Hundreds of millions of hours are volunteered every year. Mutual aid networks exist throughout the world. And on a daily basis, you almost certainly do something kind for someone else. Tiny little selfless acts like opening a door for someone are almost invisible in our everyday life because they're so immediate and common. I'll admit these aren't the strongest arguments I've ever made on this channel, but the reason I'm not spending too much time on them is because, one, as I'll flesh out later in the video, socialism doesn't require selflessness by any means. A socialist world could work even if it was filled with people who are fundamentally, ontologically greedy. And two, before we even get to that, I have to point out that there's no reason to think people are more fundamentally greedy than they are generous. And even if we are more fundamentally greedy, just flesh out later in the video, socialism doesn't require selflessness by any means. A socialist world could work even if it was filled with people who are fundamentally, ontologically greedy. And two, before we even get to that, I have to point out that there's no reason to think people are more fundamentally greedy than they are generous. And even if we are more fundamentally greedy, the simple fact that selfishness and greed exist is not a justification for building an economic system that rewards that behavior. If you believe that humans are naturally selfish, rather than believing that it's something we're capable of and that we're equally capable of kindness, and most of the time we just flip-flop between the two, that's fine. I probably won't be able to convince you otherwise, but I won't spend too much time on that because no matter what you believe human nature is, it doesn't logically follow that selfishness and greed should be the ticket to wealth and power in our society. If you think we're all rotten to our core, you're going to need another piece of evidence or some other argument to prove to me that that means our society should reward those who take this to the extreme, that the most openly selfish and greedy of us deserve to be on top. My guess is those arguments aren't going to be very convincing. I don't know many people that believe society would be best served when selfish people are in charge and have more power to be selfish. But not all arguments about human nature as a justification for capitalism take this form. Instead of arguing for capitalism from the point of greed and selfishness, both of which have a negative connotation, some people claim that we are built for the profit-seeking trade that capitalism depends on, and that capitalism actually evolved out of this aspect of human nature. In The Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith, one of the first and most influential defenders of capitalism, wrote that there is, quote, a certain propensity in human nature, the propensity to truck, barter, and exchange one thing for another. Unlike animals, Smith says that humans are simply designed to exchange and compare and seek out the best deal. As a counterexample, Smith says, quote, nobody ever saw a dog make a fair and deliberate exchange of one bone for another with another dog. But we people, we are human because we are driven towards profit by trade, and therefore capitalism is just the inevitable social system that results from individual behaviors. The problem is that Smith just made this up. He made it up. It's not wrong that humans trade and that for the most part, animals don't. But all Smith did was see that people around him were trading goods for other goods or for currency. He saw that other animals weren't doing it, and so he essentialized it as part of human nature, basically on a whim. He assumed that this must be something humans are hardwired to do, and that we must have always done. In The Wealth of Nations...
Hey, thank you, Shyt. God bless you all. I'm sorry I've been in and out of the room. Just really important information. You should rewind it if you want, because it's a really good video. The second video I played.
He essentialized it as part of human nature, basically on a whim. He assumed that this must be something humans are hardwired to do, and that we must have always done. In The Wealth of Nations, Smith imagines, which is to say he guesses, that the history of humanity is one where we start trading small goods with one another. I'll give you this thing for that thing. Then we figure out that this is inefficient as we specialize in our labor, and therefore we start creating currency. First we use salt and leather to trade goods, and eventually we figure out precious metals work best because they travel well and you can standardize them. And eventually, quite naturally, you get a market system based on maximizing the amount of precious metals you have. This then becomes more complex and larger until you develop systems of debt and accounting. And soon enough, you have capitalism. If you've ever taken an Econ 101 class, there's a good chance you've heard this story before. Capitalism, for Smith, happens very naturally, and it all starts from the fact that this is just how humans work and interact with one another. It's a really effective justification for capitalism. Because if maximizing profit through trade is just what humans do, and it transcends time and space, then every outcome of trade is justified. Why would we ever question it or get in its way? Morality is always changing. It's different from person to person, and nobody can agree on it. But profit-seeking is immortal, and it's part of us, so it becomes untouchable. Alex Jones will have to pay millions to the parents of Sandy Hook victims. Fox News might be on the hook. But like I said, this was just Adam Smith's best guess. When you go looking through history and throughout the world, as David Graeber does in Debt in the First 5,000 Years, this story of truck and barter becoming currency, becoming capitalism, just doesn't exist anywhere. The ethnologist Caroline Humphrey puts it really bluntly. No example of a barter economy, pure and simple, has ever been described, let alone the emergence from it of money. All available ethnography suggests that there has never been such a thing. Most of human existence until very recently was spent just giving other people stuff. Different societies in different parts of the world did things differently. Some would have central collection points where resources would be gathered and then redistributed. In other places, people privileged gift-giving as a means of exchange. And almost everywhere, people just gave each other things and services either for nothing in return or the vague idea that the other person owed them one. Adam Smith's idea that people were out there figuring out how many bones were worth one really good stick and this eventually turning into capitalism is just not something we've ever been able to find historical proof of. What we do have plenty of proof of is that for most of human existence, we ran our economies on gifts and the common ownership of resources. Barter existed, but at most it was a very small part of human life, and one that you were pretty unlikely to ever encounter at any point in human history.
So it's really honestly true. Yeah, bartering did exist. Sometimes, it did occur sometimes, but entire economies were not based on bartering. There was never any society, that is no evidence of any society in recorded history to keep track of, okay, this many sticks is worth this many stones, or this many lamb is worth this much hay. No, people gifted each other. People had common collective ownership of resources. Luna Oy talks about her people for thousands of years in Vietnam. They collectively made farms. One day they would do, their whole village would do one farm, one plot of land for her. That was her family's plot of land. The next day they would do the next, and they'd do it for everyone in the village. They would just do each plot of land on each family's home. They would all contribute. So we've been lied to about how people have developed their economic systems.
The historical record doesn't seem to show that it's in our human nature to...
And it's been, it's the economists, so-called economists, who are lying to us, and it's the anthropologists and the people who actually are studying ancient cultures who are saying, no, this didn't happen back then.
Truck and barter, at least a lot less than it indicates that it's in our nature to work together and make collective decisions. And look, I'm not saying that we should limit our imagination for what society should look like based on what we think human nature is, or what we're able to find in pre-existing social models. I'm just saying that if your justification for capitalism is that it's more respectful of our propensity to barter, the historical record shows we are way more capable of doing things differently. Even if someday we find out that Adam Smith had a lucky guess, and we did indeed spend most of history getting really good at trading stuff, that wouldn't make capitalism more justifiable, because capitalism isn't just about trade. Capitalism is an economic system where a few people own all the tools we need to make stuff. The factories, the farms, the machinery. In other words, the means of production. And use this privileged ownership to employ the vast majority of people to work and transform it into something productive. Trade is a small part of the equation, but Adam Smith makes it seem like it's at the core of capitalism, and that it comes from who we are as humans. The reality is that capitalism is an economic system that has only properly existed for 500 years tops. The first people of our species, Homo sapiens, have been kicking it on Earth for several 100,000 years. Neoclassical economists, like Smith, would have you believe that we stumbled on capitalism, discovered it, as if it were a fact of human life that was out there untouched, but informing the development of our species. These economists, the first capitalist theorists, set out to do for economics what physicists had achieved around the same time: discover a natural property of the world. But this project is impossible, because we made capitalism up. It's the product of a specific historical context. On the one hand, you had the growing power of a merchant class butting up against the dying power of a monarchical class. Feudalism was toppled over the course of a few revolutions and then exported around the world in a series of bloody conquests. And it happened not because we are built for capitalism, but because the feudal system just happened to set the stage for capitalism. Laws introduced the idea of private property, and technologies facilitating trade and production allowed people not born into nobility to acquire wealth. That's why we have capitalism today. Not because it's in our human nature, but because in a specific context it was the most efficient way to accumulate and then hold on to power. The idea that it was part of our human nature only came after. Our present hegemonic view of humans as either a bloody, greedy, violent animal ready to descend into barbarity at the drop of a hat, or a rational, calculating, self-interested trader came to dominate at precisely the same time as it became useful for giving legitimacy to the new political order. When capitalism emerged, it came with the myth that we are somehow incredibly rational in the context of a market, owing to our supposed predisposition to trade, but incredibly irrational and prone to violence in all other social matters. The natural solutions seem to fit with the existing society. An economy organized by a market, coupled with a powerful state to keep the order, and the capitalist class at the head of the factory to keep us in line. So it stuck. It was endlessly reproduced as an incontrovertible truth, and, like the divine right of kings, became the myth that holds the justification for capitalism together. But it doesn't take much to see how contradictory this view of humanity is. It assumes that we are perfectly rational and economic affairs.
Literally, Jack, I just said no ancient society bartered in history as their economic system.
Geniuses at the grocery store able to make complex decisions and assess value on goods to find the perfect equilibrium between cost and return. But irrational idiots the second we have to make decisions about anything else, especially in the halls of government or academia. This is a useful contradiction for capitalist economists, because as soon as people act irrationally, meaning not like what their theories predict, economists can blame it on the fact that people are dumb when they aren't acting like the self-interest economic animal they expect humans to be. And their economic theories stay perfectly intact. Human nature is a safety valve for capitalist economics, a heuristic that can be used to model a society that just happens to benefit capitalists and simultaneously can find a justification when the model fails to explain reality. And at this point in the video, I want to bring us back to socialism. A lot of the misconception about the impact of human nature on socialism comes from the fact that socialism is often poorly defined. Socialism, when we talk about human nature, is often viewed as a society where everything is the same as it is right now, except that people share. That is not what socialism is. And it's easy to see how one greedy, selfish, or cruel person could completely ruin it if socialism depended on people being nice and the honor system. But in reality, socialism, at the economic level, isn't about sharing. It's a society where if everybody needs something, it's owned collectively, and we all get to decide how it's distributed. The means of production are held in common and subject to democratic control. Instead of individual business owners making decisions about production to serve their self-interest and submitting them to the market for review, and so be it if some people get none and others get almost everything, under socialism, the things that affect all of us are decided by all of us. This can take many forms. For example, banks could fund business projects on the basis of a democratic mandate, instead of venture capitalists and for-profit banks calling the shots. Businesses could be run by the people who work there, and who either elect their boss or make strategic decisions by vote, instead of your boss just being some random guy with money. Your town could hold meetings where people point out what's missing and devise ways to fill the gaps, instead of waiting around and hoping someone will find a way to solve the problem in a profitable way. Trade wouldn't disappear, but profit would. You can be as selfish as you want in this context, but good luck convincing everyone else to prioritize your needs at the expense of everyone else's. Without the power to withhold something from someone else because you're the sole owner, what you'll find is that these systems reward those who collaborate. This doesn't mean every little thing has to be approved by everyone else, or that you have to be nice. Everyone is free to be independent so long as that doesn't require taking independence from someone else in the process. All socialism means is that for decisions of societal importance, it's only right that a democratic process applies. Today, we live under a system that rewards those who screw others over. That's a legitimate winning strategy to get ahead under capitalism. In a socialist economy, The only difference is the winning strategy, not the people. None of this implies a perfect society where no one is ever upset. Just a society where greed doesn't let a few lucky people take advantage of everyone else. At the end of the day, we'll always squabble about what human nature really looks like. But holding ourselves back by imagining we can't transcend our weaknesses isn't going to get us very far. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that this episode is made possible by Ren. We talk a lot about the failures of capitalism on this channel. One of the more obvious ones is our complete unwillingness to transition away from fossil fuel use, which has led us to the greatest crisis humans have ever faced, not to mention countless other species. So when Ren reached out to see if I'd be interested in working together, I was cautiously optimistic. As we all know, it's important not to...
Hi everybody, this is Luna. Long time no see, huh? It's been a very long time since I put out a video and I apologize for that. We've been very, very, very busy with...
She's born and raised and lives in Vietnam, socialist Vietnam run by a communist party.
our other projects, and also, we've been working very hard on the part 2 of the book about the historical materialism. And by the way, this is part 1. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please. We have you can get the printed copy like this, or we also have the free online version, the ebook. So please go to banyanhouse.org and order it right now if you haven't had it in your hand. It is very, very useful book, and I hope that it will help you, in your path of learning about communism, Marxism, Leninism, and especially dialectical materialism. Right now, we are working on the part 2. It's called historical materialism, which is an application of dialectical materialism into the history of humanity. How to understand, how to look at the history of human in a dialectical materialist lens. It's very useful, it's very interesting, and it's a tool to help you look at the past, look at what's going on right now, and have a plan for the future society. So I'm very excited, but it is a lot of work. And that is why me and EJ both, offline for quite a year already to focus on this project. Hopefully you enjoy this new format. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me. In this video, we're going to talk about the cooperatives in Vietnam. And about 2 or 3 years ago, something like that, I made a video talking about the land right of Vietnam, our agriculture, our land reforms, and most introduction into how it works in Vietnam, the agriculture and the land right. In this video, I want to focus a little bit more on a very important part of the agriculture system of Vietnam, which is cooperative. Literally, cooperative is one of the main reasons why the agriculture of Vietnam is so successful, and it makes Vietnam become like the number 1, number 2 countries in the world in exporting agricultural products. So I hope that you will enjoy this video, you will find this video interesting, and maybe you can apply some of the knowledge that we have on your future society. Vietnamese people have been farming in our homeland for thousands of years. And, in the modern day, we call it cooperatives, but it has been our way of farming for a very long time, since the time we live as tribes together. At that time, thousands of years ago, we get together, we live together, we share a land, and we farm together in one same piece of land like that, and we support and we help each other. And slowly, we keep that tradition to this day. We develop it more. We integrate with the modern world. So we have new technology, we have new machines and equipments, modern equipment. But deep inside it, the cooperatives of Vietnam still keep and uphold the tradition how Vietnamese people have been farming for a very long time. By now, you might be asking, so what does this authoritarian communist government of Vietnam do to these cooperatives? Well, the government of Vietnam does play a role. They give advice, information to those cooperatives. Every month, every year, the best agricultural engineers and economists of Vietnam will give free training and free advice to all cooperatives of Vietnam. Because first of all, those agricultural engineers, they would know this piece of land with this water, with this weather would be the best for this kind of plant, this kind of tree. And the economists would know that for now, the whole world, they are needing this kind of agricultural product, or it is good for Vietnam to export this product all over the world. So they give that information and free to our own rice paddy. We open it up and we use our own hands. And like grab a bunch of poop like this and just spray it evenly all over the rice paddy. So that is my childhood with all kinds of poop that we can ask for free. So around maybe 15 years ago, I think about 2009, 2010, that was the time when we had, harvesting trucks. It was like a brand new technology. It was so amazing because before that, we just harvested with our own hand. I was so bad at cutting the rice and tying them into a beautiful bunch. So my mom just dismissed me from that role. So she and her aunts and our neighbor just the best ones just getting use the sickle to cut a piece of the rice like that and tie it into beautiful breeding bunch. It's pretty big. I was 18 at that time. Pretty heavy work actually. Whenever the bunch finished, they just left it right there on the rice paddy. And I was the one who had to go after all of them and just carry a bunch of rice and carry it to the shore. So my dad was waiting over there, carrying all of those and bring those straws and the rice go back home. But then, 2010-ish, we had harvesting machine, brand new technology. So at that time, my mom's cooperative, purchased 2 harvesting machines using the collective fund. And at that time, I think it was 4 farmers that were chosen, young and with good knowledge about technology and equipment. They were voted by the cooperative and they got trained for free by the local government about how to run those machines. And then those 4 people just, take turns to run those 2 harvesting machines and go around to harvest for the whole cooperative like that. And I remember very well, why? Because that was a moment when I did not have to carry those heavy bunches of rice anymore. I was so happy. And that would not be even possible if my family does the farming all by ourselves, all alone, because there's no way we can afford that machine, or we would even really know how to run that machine and maintain it. And yeah, it is because of the cooperatives how we get together and do the same thing of that. And it makes the experience of farming become something very collective, and you will have a very strong connection to your neighbors. So because we have a very strong connection with each other like that, living in a cooperative, living in a village like that, farming together, I consider all of my, my friends in the village like brothers and sisters. So it's very funny because many times when I talk to my partner EJ and I just mention this person as my brothers and sisters, he always gets so confused, like, how many brothers and sisters that I have? The truth is, they are not related to me at all, but just because we've been sharing our childhood in the same village and we work together in a cooperative like that, we are very close to each other and we truly treat each other as a family member. That is why we call all of my friends like brothers, sisters, or cousins, something like that. Another machine that is very popular amongst cooperatives and farmers is the rice husk machine. So this is a rice husk machine, a pretty heavy and expensive piece of machine. That is why the whole village and the whole cooperative usually share 1 or 2 machines like this. Usually once every 2 weeks when we finish our rice at home, my mom and me would just fill up a smaller bag, not as big as the bag, okay? This smaller bag to fill up with the raw rice, get on our bicycle and walk all the way to the family that run that rice husk machine. And actually it's self-run kind of machine. There's nobody there to support you at all. It's just the the machine just there, plug in, and everybody just go there and turn it on and use it. And so me and my mom just went to that house, turned on the machine, pour the raw rice into the machine, and just wait for it to process like that into fried rice and grab it home. And it was like that. It was like quite communal kind of using like that. Pretty fun. Besides agricultural cooperatives in Vietnam, we also have many other kinds of cooperatives such as aqua agriculture. For example, like families with the fishermen families would get together to buy a boat, and they would go and catch the fish together on the ocean or on the river like that. Or another kind is small-scale industry cooperative. Like in one village, they make bamboo baskets. So all the families in that village that know how to make baskets will get together, form a cooperative, and sell their products to the other people. Another kind is transportation cooperative, means that families with transportation like trucks or bus or vans and like that get together, also form cooperatives and carry products to different villages, different areas together. Right now, there are a lot of exciting things happening with cooperatives in Vietnam. The government is revising laws to make it easier to form cooperatives in Vietnam, to make it more fair and streamline the process. They are encouraging Vietnamese people to form new cooperatives. And there's another exciting program that's happening right now in Vietnam, which is the One Province, One Product program. This means that the government will help cooperatives in one province to use all of their resources to develop one product that is the most suitable to that province, to make that product the best quality possible so they can sell it for a higher price to make a better income for all the farmers in that province. We will go deeper into these topics in the future videos, so please subscribe to my channel if you want to watch those. And also, if you want to support me and watch the extended version of this video for free, please check out my Calendar and Patreon channel. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time. Bye!